everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be looking at areas of circles. It stands alone in this lesson because it can be rather tricky and exhausting, I'm not going to lie, because there are decimals involved, mostly multiplication. There could be some division, and there could be some addition as well. So it's a good idea to go back and look at our lessons on decimals if you haven't done so already. At this point in your math career, you should be pretty well rounded with decimals though. A couple things that we're going to need to be pretty sharp on is the difference between diameter and radius, because those play a large part here. Also, in some cases, you may need to know if you're looking for half a circle, some cases a quarter of a circle. In real life, you'll see that when it comes to windows. I can give you a little anecdote here where a girl I know that works for Anderson Window Company had to help a bunch of construction workers find the area of a quarter of a circle, and none of the guys could remember how to do area of a circle. So this is going to play a big part in that. So remember, diameter is the full length across the circle. The radius would be half of that. When we were dealing with circumference, we needed the diameter. Today we're going to be needing the radius. So it probably would be good to write these two formulas down, the one for finding circumference and then the one today for area, because they are different. Assuming that you may not get a formula sheet for whatever you're working on. All right, sit back and enjoy. All right, the first one here wants us to find the area of this circle, which is obviously the objective of this lesson. So our formula, something good to write down, is that the area is equal to pi, in this case we're using 3.14, times the radius squared. All right, so exponents are a big thing as well. So once again, this will be an approximation more or less. So we know that we're going to be using 3.14. All right. The radius is half across. Well, is 7 the actual radius, or is it the diameter? It actually is the radius. So we'll do area again. We're going to look for area. 3.14 times, let's just follow order of operations. We'll do exponents. That's 49. That is not 14. All right. 7 times 7, not 7 times 2. Well, this is where a lot of you guys get lost. So after we do the multiplication, it's 153.86. That's not what we want. They told us to round to the nearest tenth. Another thing you have to be key on, you have to read your directions. So it's 153.9. We're looking for area, so centimeters squared, or it would be marked wrong. All right, this is a beautiful real-life example of finding area of a circle here, okay? Formula is going to stay the same. It says park employees are fitting a top over our circular drain in the park. So think of it like a manhole cover. If the radius, keyword there is radius, of the drain is 14 inches, what is the area of the top that will cover the drain? We're going to use 22/7 in this case here instead of pi. Remember, once again, in real life, you could pick what you want, but we're going to follow directions here. So what we can do is draw this out. Obviously, it's going to be a circle. We got to decide if we're given the radius or if we're given the diameter. Well, we're given the radius once again. So we're looking at halfway across, and that radius is actually 14 inches. All right. So area is pi times radius squared, not just radius. Okay. So we're going to use 22/7 in this case, and our radius is 14. We're going to square that. If you're thinking it's 28, you're in big trouble. It's not 28. 14 times 14 ends up being 196. All right. We're dealing with fractions again, so we're going to put that over 1. 7 can go into 196. Believe it or not, it goes into that 28 times. So we multiply our numerators. It's 616. We're talking about inches, so it should be inches squared. That would be our final answer right there. All right, this one, once again, they want us to find area. Something's just a little bit different about this one, though. So area, it's good to rewrite it because then it's embedded in our heads, is pi times radius squared. All right, we're going to use 3.14 for pi this time again. And this is where we have to be careful. So we see that that line goes all the way across, correct? And what that means is that we don't want that. We don't want the diameter. We want the radius, which is just simply half of that. So we're going to have 3.14. You should not be getting 12. You should be getting 36. 36 times 3.14 is 113.04, and there's no indication of rounding off, so we'll just leave it like that. Meters squared. All right. This is where people usually go wrong for a couple different reasons. This is the entire diameter. We don't want that. We cut it in half, square it, gets us 36. 36 times 3.14 is right here. All right, you guys are going to love this one. All right, so what they want us to do is find the area of the shaded region, and yes, that's about half of the circle. So we're going to find the area of the entire circle. All right, so stay with me here. So we're going to use 3.14. Right? Now, once again, our radius is not 24. The radius is half of that, which is 12. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to square the 12 first, which we should know is 144. All right, it should not be 24. We're not doubling it, we're squaring it. And then we're going to multiply that with our 3.14, so 144 times 3.14 equals, and it doesn't say anything about rounding either, is 452.16. Now, if this was multiple choice, I guarantee I would probably have that as an option, but that is not correct. I want half of that area. So what am I going to do? I'm going to divide it by 2. So when we divide by 2, luckily it comes out nice and even for the most part, 226.08, but the unit of measure is still squared. Now, you heard the story about my friend. If you wanted a quarter of that, I could do by 4, because remember quarters are by in 4s. So I could do 452.16 divided by 4, and I know that'll go into it evenly. It would be 113.04, but I'm not worried about that right now. This would be my final answer.